And the
Woo!
recording, it is in progress. Cause we're gonna start doing it now. What's up, guys? Welcome to
Welcome
Tin Hat Time.
to Tin Hat Time.
It is Tin Hat Time. We're your hosts, Hannah, me, and who are you?
I'm Megan.
You're Megan. Megan, you guys, those of you who are watching along today, I thought I was gonna be the one sporting like the fun new do, but like, holy shit, Megan buzzed her hair. It looks
Mm,
so goddamn good.
It's fun. I
And you got
like
your
it.
septum piercing. Ah,
I
you
know.
finally look like you could be my girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what, to be honest though, whenever we're together, we always look like each other's
We
girlfriend.
we do. Everybody always
Yeah.
thinks that we're dating.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, they're only half wrong.
Yeah. Platonic friendship.
Unfortunately, platonic soulmates.
It's very much of the Abby and Alana on Broad City dynamic,
Yeah, that
where I'm
variety.
wholeheartedly Abby and
Yeah,
you're Alana.
yeah, yeah.
So,
That's accurate. Although, really deep down in my heart of hearts, I am also an awkward ass Abby as well. Have you ever read her book?
I haven't.
I might regret this. It's really good. I have a copy of it. I'll never send it to you. How about that?
That's probably a good
I'll tell
idea.
you, right? I'll tell you that I'll send it to you for like 6 months and I'll never actually get to the post office box and do it.
Yeah, like I'll
Never.
read it eventually, right? Wink.
Sure. Sure.
Like,
Yeah, I saw a meme the other day that it said something like I've come to realize that reading books and collecting books are two very different hobbies.
yeah,
Like buying books, and I was like, "Oh yeah,
yeah,
no, that's accurate." I do enjoy reading
100%.
books though. I
Yeah,
read a lot of books. It's fun.
yeah. It's
Um, yeah.
I like the collection of books that Thrift Books website
Hmm.
has a lot
Oh,
of really good priced books.
I need to look on there because I told a full-fledged lie last week when I was like, "Yeah, I'm gonna order J. Allen Hynek's book." Because I looked at the price and thought that it was $9.75. It was $97.
Oh,
Like,
that's
ooh,
too much for
that's
a
not.
book. I
Is
mean,
it? I
for some
disagree with
people,
that. It's just
I
too much for my broke ass to spend on it. So if anybody out there has a copy of any of J. Allen Hynek's books or Travis Walton's like Fire in the Sky book, I would love to borrow those and I will return them in an appropriately timely fashion.
do you think the library has them?
I haven't actually looked.
I mean, that's a good free
Don't,
option.
it is.
Like
That
people
is
who
true.
actually like to read books, not just to collect them, they're the ones who go to the library and
I go to the Before the pandemic, I was at the library a lot reading like cuz graphic novels are too expensive.
yeah.
But
Yeah, that's fair.
yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
love the library. It's like a little cult. It's fantastic.
Yeah.
Just go
But
there
I
and
I
immerse
always
in your
like
little books.
the energy of libraries, but I the last time I went to a library was literally to print something. Like that was it wasn't to get a book, just I have to
Yeah.
print this form. Like, yeah.
I was trying to figure out something to do with the kids that I babysat. I keep trying to say last year, like last year was 2019. I didn't do anything actual last year. So like the last real year,
Yeah.
I was like, what can
Just
we do that's free? And in the air conditioning. I know. We'll go to the library. Like, get that a lot of fun.
yeah. Actually,
Yay. Gonna turn
now
my
that
phone on to silent
now that stuff's starting
like a
to open
professional.
back up, actually that's a good idea. I don't have my phone on silent. Now that stuff's opening back up, I definitely need to take Bonnie to the library and out places in
Yeah.
general, like in
Sweet
public.
darling, perfect
So,
Bonnie.
yeah,
She's so cute, you guys. Oh my god.
that is my daughter.
But yeah, Bonnie's her human child. I do not have human children. I have a dog and a horribly chubby cat
And
who
plant children.
screams in the background of our episodes.
Yeah.
What?
I said and
Don't
plant
call me
children.
that. Oh, I
Plant,
do have a lot of plant babies.
yeah, little plant
And
children.
look at this motherfucker right here. It's growing so much. But
I
yeah,
don't know what that
I'm
is.
low key obsessed. This one's a creeping Charlie, and then these ones are strings of hearts. And I put them in there together, and they're friends. And the pandemic took its goddamn toll on me because now I'm like obsessed with plants, but I got good at them. Here's the trick, you guys. Here's the trick when it comes to plants, give them water.
But not too much.
Occasionally, you can give them too much water. I did that one fucking time, dude. One time.
No, it's okay. That
I
plant
killed
was on
Megan's
its way.
dahlia.
Yeah, it was on its way out anyway. But anywho, because this is a really fucking long intro.
Ah,
Um, do you want to know what we're talking about today?
I would love to know what we're talking about today, dude.
We're talking about
Drive this
Colts,
bus,
baby.
talking
Yeah.
about you and me. Ooh, Colts, eh? Oh, that's fun. We haven't done Colts yet.
Yeah, I feel like I touched on
Have we done a
Colts.
Colt?
No, I don't think
I
I
think
don't
we
think that we
mentioned that
have.
like
We've probably
QAnon was
mentioned stuff.
basically a cult, but
Well, we talked about Project Bluebeam. That's kind of cult-ish
yeah, I think
behavior, but
we've
not
talked about it
quite.
a little bit in passing, but we haven't like done an episode of. Ooh, I love Colts. I'm obsessed.
Yeah, so excuse me. We're gonna be talking about the Source family. I don't know if you've heard of them. I didn't know about them.
Oh, fuck.
Um,
Yeah.
which is
This is a
like
good one.
they're like cult light in
Yeah.
my mind. Like they're not one of the ones that's gonna bum everybody out. Like I
Yeah.
wanted to do one of those, but they require a lot more research, and I'm
Yeah,
lazy.
like Children of God.
Yeah, no, we didn't. I didn't go down that route. I almost did the Moonies, but then
Mm,
just decided against it. But yeah, we're going to talk about the Source family. But before we talk about the
cool.
Source family, we're going to talk about like what makes a cult. Um, so a cult is a belief system that's based around like a person, an idea, or a thing, right? So they're just like kind of all consuming sort of a thing. Fun joke that I saw in my research was that cult plus time equals religion.
Well, yeah, I
So
was just about to say Christianity started off as a cult.
yeah, but even Judaism was originally thought to be a cult. So
It was
um,
all a cult.
it's
All of it is
all
cults.
yeah, all of it. The characteristics of a cult are there's a charismatic leader, there's mind control,
Hmm.
and then there's exploitation. So um, yeah, lots of things that happen to get you indoctrinated into a cult, which is really interesting. I would definitely suggest. I got a lot of this info from that explained episode on cults. I don't know if you've
Yep.
seen that one, but they have 7 characteristics or elements of indoctrination. Basically, people are more susceptible at a crossroads in their life, right? So you
Hmm.
just got divorced,
Just
just
moved to a
lost
new
your
city.
job, new city, right? Anything that like puts you in a spot where it's a big life change. Um, you're
Death of a
kind of,
spouse or parent.
yeah, right? Just
Yeah.
something that's going to be, makes you kind of go, oh shit, what am I going to do now?
Yeah.
Um, and so usually you're introduced to this, cult or idea or whatever it is, multi-level marketing scheme, sell
That's
Mary Kay for us.
goddamn. Aren't
Um,
they? Aren't those cults though?
I kind of. I mean, they
I
kind of
went
are.
to
There's cult behavior to them.
I went to an
Um,
Herbalife thing one time and I thought I was getting a job, like going to a job interview.
mhm.
And it was like Herbalife people like sell Herbalife. You must sell the Herbalife.
Yeah.
Sell it. And like a bunch of people like left and they're like, why are you staying through this presentation? I was like, do you guys not see the fucking spread in the back? Those are mini roast beef sandwiches on croissants. Come on. Like
I,
obviously they're trying to get us to join their Herbalife cult, but they've left out some really good snacks.
I'll stay
I'm
for
just
the
gonna walk
food.
away.
Like,
Just gonna walk away from those snacks. I ate 5 of those fucking sandwiches.
it's just like I would go to one of the like timeshare things. Like I've never
Mm-hmm.
been invited to one. I don't think I'm in
That's
the
because
right
you're a poor
bracket.
person. Yeah.
But like if I ever got invited to a timeshare thing, I'd be like, fucking sign me up. I'm in. I'm here for the free vacation.
Yep.
So,
And all the snacks.
and all the snacks.
They
So,
put out a good fucking spread. It's really too bad that the pandemic took away from the ability to like go from open house to open house and pretend that you may be one day interested in buying a home.
yeah. Yeah.
As if I'll ever afford that. But yeah, no, like sometimes like the cult spots, they'll have a good spread and that's how they get you to stay.
Yeah. I mean, I kind of get it. Like, so we'll talk about that a little bit later. But
All right.
there's definitely one point while I was watching one of these documentaries that I was like, I would have bought into this. Like,
Oh yeah.
I I'm very susceptible. Like, I didn't realize how susceptible I am to like maybe I'll do that. Maybe like I would say like this sounds great. Like I don't know. We'll come to that. But
Yeah.
anywho,
I was watching a Heaven's Gate thing and I was like, ooh, those jackets though. Kind of dug those jackets.
yeah, I don't know. Well, maybe when I was younger, I would have been susceptible to more of the Christian cults, but now that I'm older, I would definitely be more susceptible to like the new age shit. So, um, but anywho, so other elements of indoctrination. So you're sold this new reality, right? This new
Hmm.
reality that, this is what life is. This is the life that you can have if you join us, that sort of a thing. Um, you're endeared to a leader. There's, the dear leader, usually the leader becomes the holy one or whatever it is,
They always
right?
end up
Or
calling like them father, dad, that sort
yeah,
of a thing.
yeah, that's pretty standard, right? And I mean, if
So
you think
creepy.
about it, if you're a lost person in the world, you like instinctually want that guidance, like
Hmm.
you want a father figure, and that's what happens with a lot of people in cults is, you know, they feel like they're not getting the guidance or the love or whatever from their parents, and they get sucked into these cults at a really young age. Um, and then in the cult environment, you're um, you're given an enemy, right? So the outside world is an enemy because they're either trying to take something from you, like your
Hmm.
freedom or whatever it is. They're trying to take it away from you. And then while you're in this intense environment, you experience a lot of peer pressure, right? So it's
Hmm.
like this person's doing it, so I'm gonna do it too.
Yeah, that was big in the Nivium Nexium. What?
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
Did you hear that? Real quick sidebar. That
yeah.
Alex Mack, not Alex Mack. That's the
Allison,
sleeper.
Allison
Allison
Mack.
Mack.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
She got sentenced to like 3 years in prison.
yeah. Um, Pretty crazy. That's actually the cult that got me interested in talking about cults. I watched a documentary about that and it was really
Which one?
cheesy. So there's a chick who was involved in the cult named India, and her mom, I guess, is like a former model and somehow European royalty or
Royalty.
something.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Did you watch the newest one? Because I watched the HBO one.
No, I don't have HBO, so I watch the poor people version
Right, right,
on Hulu. Because you have to
right.
pay for the like seduced one or whatever. And I wasn't gonna do that. So I watched only an hour long one, but basically it was just about she's like, it was so hard for me. And I was like, you weren't in the cult, you were just the mom. Like I would think it would be harder to be in the cult and then have to be removed from the cult.
She was a
So
really interesting figure in the other one where she was like very like hardcore fighting. Like, oh, I'm getting my daughter the fuck away from this creepy motherfucker. So yeah,
yeah,
you should
yeah, she
sign
kept
up
saying
for.
that in it. She just kept saying, I fought for my life. And it was just like, I don't know. It felt very
You should
cheesy
watch
the
the
way it
other
was
one.
framed.
It was
Like,
better.
yeah. So,
Okay.
um, so you feel all this peer pressure, right, for this
Hmm.
indoctrination. And then the last thing is basically the leader is a sociopathic narcissist, right? So everything revolves around
Hmm.
them. And they're dangerous. They're really dangerous people, usually. I
Yeah.
mean, we see a lot of how cults end, like, Jonestown, mass
Hmm.
suicide, like, and that's been kind of repeated. Or there's just a lot of abuse that goes on in these cults. Um, so this one, not as much of that happens. It's pretty light all in all, but there's still some questionable behavior. Um, so the Source family was established in 1969 um,
Hot.
by by a guy named Jim Baker, who later called himself Father Yod. So there's
Yep.
that father,
Father Yod.
and then Yehovah.
The source. The source family's so fucking weird, dude.
Dude, and like that's the thing is it's just really a lot of like weird hippies like culturally appropriating shit.
Really heavily culturally appropriating a lot of shit because it was what, the 60s?
Yeah, the 70s really. Like this happens basically the like 1969 is when he opens a restaurant in LA called the Source Restaurant.
You get
And
them in with that spread.
yeah. Yeah, it's a vegetarian restaurant, which I mean
Never mind.
back then it was not super common to have a vegetarian hippie restaurant. Like they wore white robes, and like it was all pretty young people that brought out the food. I guess it was very popular with celebrities. John Lennon was a regular, along with
That is
Yoko
not
Ono,
surprising.
Marlon Brando, all regulars. Some other people in there too,
Really?
but I didn't feel like writing them all down. um
Why do your job?
what? But anywho, there's about 150 people that are following Jim Baker. They lived communally. Originally in like kind of a mansion. They get like a mansion together and it's like, yes. And then they
Yay,
get
we
kicked
all
out
live
of
in
that
here.
mansion
Because
because
they were gross, huh?
no, it's actually because they cults were a big scare then, and they were thought to be similar to the Manson family. And the owner of the
Oh,
house or whatever freaked
yeah.
the fuck out and was like, "Get the fuck out!" Like, not gonna
Was this
have
in
any
Southern
Manson shit.
California?
Yeah, this was happening in LA,
Oh, yeah.
LA,
Oh, shit.
Los
LA.
Angeles.
Donna,
Um,
LA. Yeah, no, I feel like they'd be very freaked out by a cult in 69 in LA.
yes. So they get kicked out of this mansion that they were in. They move into a 3-bedroom house. I'm gonna tell you this again. There were 150 people in
In a
a
3-bedroom
three
house?
bedroom, I believe 1 bath house. Um,
That's all of them living on the Cypress house that we lived in together.
yeah,
Because
kind
that was a
of
3-bedroom, 1 bath.
kind of insane. I don't know how that really worked. I guess they made like cubbies for like sleeping nooks and shit. So they basically like put
Jesus.
up shelves sort of for people to sleep in. Um,
Good God in heaven.
yeah, so it's like I mean really packed in like sardines.
Mm-hmm.
Um, they also all took the surname Aquarian. They were also given new names. So there was like Jin, which was Djin. There
Oh, like
was
a gin?
yeah, there was Galaxy, um,
Cool.
like all different names,
May
like
I
Orbit
may
and
I
stuff.
quickly ask
Yeah.
how much LSD was
Um,
Baker passing out?
Not really a lot. There were shrooms more towards the
Ah,
end,
that'll do it
but
too.
initially it was the sacred herb.
Oh shit.
Yeah, marijuana or cannabis
Cannabis.
or pot, as everyone
Weed.
else knows it, weed. Yes, the
Weed.
sacred herb was a lot of it.
The
Um,
sacred herb, aka the devil's lettuce.
a lot of sacred herb, yoga in the mornings, like they did yoga classes
I
and
mean, this sounds
stuff.
like my life.
Um, Jim Baker, Jim Baker's an interesting guy though. Like he has a weird backstory. Like he is an expert in jujitsu. He got a silver star for heroism in World War II. Uh,
Shit.
he was potentially a bank robber because he was pretty wealthy. I mean, he was able to open up a bunch of restaurants. So the source
Well,
was
this
like
doesn't make you
not
a
the
bank robber.
first. No, he talked about being a bank robber and like getting away
Okay,
with it. So I don't know if this is the
that kind of
narcissist
makes you
thing,
a bank robber. Yeah, I was gonna
right?
say not. Eh.
Or if it was like him telling a bunch of wild tales, but like he had a lot of money to open up a lot of restaurants and like
Mm-hmm.
there's not a lot of stories about how he got that money. So,
Right, it's not like he came from wealth or something. It's not like a long line of Aquarian old
correct.
money.
Correct. He was also a supposed murderer.
Shit, bitches.
Yeah, I think that was like a self-defense thing. I didn't write good notes about it.
I
Wish I would
saw
have.
um a documentary about them a while ago.
Yeah, it's
But I've
called
had
The
a few
Source
good nights
Family.
sleep since then. Yeah,
It's
it was.
it's a great documentary.
Yeah,
Definitely
Evan and I watched it together.
a fun one to watch because it's not like too much of a bummersville. Like
Yeah.
you're not gonna walk away and be like, wow, I'm really sad that, whatever. Um
Yeah.
but they end up getting to a point where they're so big. This cult has grown enough. Obviously, 150 people, 3-bedroom house. What a nightmare. They sell the restaurant and they move to Hawaii. And this is in 1974. Um, so they moved to Hawaii. Um, Things are going okay-ish, but they didn't have the money that had been rolling in from the restaurant kind of keeping them afloat. And the restaurant was like very successful. Like there are some estimates
Mm-hmm.
that it pulled in like 300,000 in a month at one point, right?
Fuck.
So they were making some dough and then
That's a
spending
lot
it
of money
on the
in
sacred herb.
2021.
Yeah. So
Sacred
um
herbs.
so they move to Hawaii. Um, and I don't remember if they got a big house. It's they basically move on to property though. Um, and at this point, I mean, they're really heavy into this. I mean, they're calling Jim Baker Father Yod, and
Oh man.
like it's like he is the father to them. That's
Yeah.
that's who he is. He is the end all be all. Um, and it gets worse, right? So I'm not sure if this happens before Hawaii or after Hawaii, but he had been married. He
Yeah.
married a 19-year-old girl, and this dude's like in his late 40s,
Gross.
50s, something
Gross.
like that.
Gross. Gross.
Um, he has a second spiritual awakening because the first was when he started this. Second spiritual awakening, he realizes, I need more wives. I'm
Oh,
gonna,
they always realize that.
right? Don't they?
Doesn't God always tell them, you know what you need? Like 8 more wives.
No, he needed 13 more.
Oh
So,
yeah. Mm-hmm.
yeah.
Yeah, one for
So,
each astrological bullshit, something, I'm
yeah,
sure.
probably. Based on the fact that their last name is Aquarian, I would assume so.
Uh-huh.
Um, but that happens. The kind of the worst part of, in my mind, of like actual abuses is the wives were of questionable ages. They're teenagers, basically. This is a
Gross.
middle-aged man, and a lot of these girls are 17-ish, 16, 17. Some of them are a little bit older, like 20, but like they are very
Still
young women. They're children. I
impressional
mean,
as
they're
fuck.
children, basically, you know?
I mean,
So
remember us when we were 20?
I remember me when I was fucking 17. What
You were queen
that's
dipshit.
yeah, you're dumb. Like teenage
So
girls,
stupid.
teenagers in general, boys, girls, whoever, they are dumb. Like you do
Your
not
frontal lobes
understand the world.
aren't connected yet.
Yeah. If I could
And
turn back time and tell myself,
if I
just
could
you don't
turn
know
back
everything.
time, if I could find a way.
Thank you, Celine. Um,
That
oh my God, that was Cher.
Yeah, I was just gonna sit here and wait for you to correct yourself there, buddy. Jesus.
That is
Jesus
Cher.
God.
That is Cher.
Give me your
My
gay card, dude.
my bad.
Yeah.
Anywho, so the other thing, right? These are like the bad facts that I've compiled about Jim Baker before we hit the end of his story.
Hmm.
So all of this stuff is recorded. So everything that's happening, there's like one lady whose name is Isis. That is her source family name. She's been recording everything. She's filming it, or she's just doing audio recordings. So they have like in that source family documentary,
Yeah.
you hear it. He kind of talked with an Indian accent. He's a white guy,
It
by the
was,
way. It
yeah,
was
it was
it was never mentioned or like
deeply
addressed,
problematic.
but like he's talking about having these this spiritual awakening, and he's
Hmm.
a changed person, and it's like that doesn't mean you start speaking English with an Indian accent. Like that's fucking offensive. Like why also? Just like like genuinely, like how is that tied to spiritualism? Yeah. It's very, very
I don't
uncomfortable.
I don't know how to answer those questions.
I mean, yeah, he's supposedly studied under like a guru, from India,
Again, didn't
and
they all?
well, no, they all did, right? But like, it's just funny that it's like he's like trying to
There's
mimic, right? He's trying to
mhm,
mimic
mhm.
basically the feeling that is given from this foreign person that is,
Yeah, like
making
with
you
the
feel
didn't he
like
have like a big
Eastern
like big
spirituality.
white beard and like grow out his hair and shit?
Yeah, I mean, he
Or
looks like very quintessential,
he looks like Santa
counterculture
Claus.
leader, right? It's the big white beard, long white hair. He wears turbans at one point. They all wear
Ah,
robes. But like the turbans, they don't cover the hair. They're just like worn as hats, basically. And I don't know if
ooh.
that's a thing, but my understanding is like you wear that to typically to protect your hair or to cover your hair. There's
And your
lots of
hair to
different
keep you
meanings
cool
depending on
and
the
stuff.
culture. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, they kind of basically wear hats. Um, and nobody cuts their hair. And
Cool.
they're all white people. Like there's pictures and it's like all fucking white people. So I mean,
Did you find their album?
yeah, they also started a band. Yeah, I didn't include that. I didn't think that was super interesting, but yes, they have a band and they've released like a few albums.
Guess who listened to one of their albums like 4 times in a row?
You did?
It's not good.
Um yeah, I think they play the music throughout this documentary, the Source Family
There
documentary.
was one where I was like, I think this one could be a bop. I'm
Th-
gonna keep on listening.
There was one that was like all right, but it was just very generic like 60s 70s.
Mamas and the Papas, but not as good.
Correct. Yeah.
Yeah.
So to bring this cult to a head, right, or to an end, or anything, or the peak of it is they're living in Hawaii, partying it up, whatever, living their best lives. They're doing probably too many shrooms.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and Baker wakes up one day, or Father Yod, or Yehovah, and decides
What?
he or Father,
Say
like he goes by two different names, right? So sometimes he's Father Yod, and then the other times he's Yehovah.
Yehoah?
Yehovah.
Cool.
I don't know where they're making up these
No,
names or getting them
that
from.
feels like a made up name.
It kind
Just
of
gonna throw
does.
that out there.
Or just an appropriated name. Like they
Mm.
pick and choose spirituality from like a lot of different, um, i- basically cultural beliefs. Um,
The
Anywho,
haunted door just opened.
what?
I just heard like the creak of a door.
Oh, that's probably the sounds coming from my mouth. I think I made a weird noise. I don't know. Um, Comes to a head. He decides one day he's going to hang glide off of a cliff. He has no formal training in this or
Ah,
any training
cool.
at all.
Never done
Um,
this before.
Never done it. And he felt like he was supposed to do it without training. Like that's just how he felt.
Oh no.
And that's recorded. Like you can hear him saying something like that. Just but yeah,
He's like,
he
I was
felt like
supposed to
he
do
wasn't
this.
supposed to be trained. Um
Oh no.
you can also hear all of these young women just going, "No, Father Yod, no, 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 don't do it."
No.
Um yeah.
They're ignorant.
So you can guess kind of how it goes.
Oh yeah.
Not
How did it
well.
did it go splat?
Not quite. They say it's like it was so windy. It was so windy. He goes off, and then the wind just stops. Like
Oh
the
shit.
fucking wind just stops.
The
This is
Lord
so.
was just like, you know
This,
what, Father Yod?
this,
Down,
this is
down.
a 400-meter high cliff. Like
Fuck.
it's a fucking big ass cliff. It's hard to like. I'm sorry. This shit is so funny to me because it's so fucking
Because you're a
dumb.
bad
I'm
person.
so fucking mean. that. Um, so he jumps off. The wind stops. He kind of flies it around and then just boink onto the beach. Crash lands on the beach.
Fuck.
Below. Yeah. What's even better is they get down there and they're doing audio recordings of these conversations and shit where it's just like, oh, are you okay? And he's like, my back is broken. No
Oh
Indian
shit.
accent that time. Uh,
Right? Fuck.
but in this fucking cult, they didn't believe in medical intervention, of course.
Right.
Um, so no medical intervention, and so they don't take him to the hospital. He doesn't want
Cool.
to go to the hospital. He wants people to fuck, I can't remember what it's called, but he wanted people to like transmute. They wanted to transmute the pain, right? So like have somebody else take the pain away from him. Like they'll heal him together. It's like, bro, your back is broken. You probably have some internal bleeding going on from crash landing off of a
Holy
fucking
shit.
cliff. So he dies.
Well,
Um,
yeah.
so he dies.
Oh my god.
They hang on to the body for like 3 fucking days.
Creepy.
Cause
What did they
weird
do with it?
cults. They just got it all ready in like natural. So they covered it in sheets and stuff, and I don't know what else they did.
How do
That's
you
not
make a
just
body more natural?
I don't know. They wanted to return him to his natural state. That's what they said in the documentary, but they don't go into any more detail about like what they do with him. You just
Like what
see
that
pictures of
means?
him with like sheets over him. So I don't know if that means like a lot of like praying and shit by his bedside, or what that means, but I'm not gonna
Yeah.
we can speculate in a second.
When we get to speculation time, we'll speculate what it means to return one's body to its natural state after death.
Yeah. Yeah. Um so after he dies, one of his basically like his second wife, right? I think her name's like Makusha or Makushna or something.
Makushla?
Makushla? That sounds right. Um,
That's from Million Dollar Baby.
I don't know. She takes over. Um,
Pretty sure.
she takes over for like 2 years, and then basically this whole thing falls apart. Everybody goes their separate ways. A lot of us, like a handful probably ish, stay on Hawaii, like in Hawaii, and then
Mm-hmm.
the rest just go back home and basically try to return to their lives. Um, some of them actually got really successful. Like one dude started a software company and sold it for like 60 million in like
Cool.
2000.
Damn.
Another one started a really successful stem cell research company that's supposed to be they're like the leaders in stem cell research as of 2014.
Cool.
Um, but yeah, just kind of interesting that really the only death was, you know, literally the leader.
I thought
Um,
there was something weird that happened with a kid.
the thing that happened with a kid, the only thing that I know of, um, was one of the kids got an ear infection, and the dad was like, "Yeah, dude, I really want to go and get some medicine. Like he needs antibiotics. Like he has a
Yeah.
really high fever, whatever." And they're no, no, like you don't need to do that. And so he's like, "Cool, I'm fucking out," and like left the cult.
And
So
took the baby.
yeah, that's the only thing I know of. There could be
I
more.
think that was I think what I was thinking of because like I feel like there was like a sick baby in like a fight.
Yeah. So, and that dude just dipped out, which, like, I mean, like, good for you that, like, you can recognize that sort of a thing and realize that
Yeah.
need medical attention for your child. There were 54 home births between 1972 and 78 in this
That's a
cult.
lot.
Yeah, that is a lot. So, that's a lot.
That's one a week for a year.
Yeah, that's,
Were they all Father Yod's babies?
I don't know. I don't think so.
A lot
So,
of them, though, I'd imagine.
I would imagine that at least like 13. So maybe I don't know because then you think about his wives. His first wife already had a child, and that was like the first one born out of this little colt. Um,
Cool.
but yeah, I mean, That's all I have. Do you want to speculate at all?
Damn. Yeah. It's an interesting. What did they do with that body? They probably just like washed it and like covered it in salt or something weird, but like,
Yeah, that's what I would imagine. Like burn a bunch of incense and stuff. Like, I
yeah.
don't think they would do anything
Cat.
um else with it. They seem pretty like mild about their weird behavior,
They were
all in all.
pretty regular. Like, they seemed like one of those cults that I would be like, yeah,
Yeah.
I'll do that. I'll
Yeah.
eat your quinoa.
Yeah.
Can
The
you hear my
one,
cat?
yeah, I can hear your cat.
Cool.
He's very loud. He's just a part of the conversation.
Perfect.
Um the one concerning thing, right, and some of the guys in the documentary say, like, is when he started basically like preying on the young girls, that's the part
Mm-hmm.
that is like very problematic. Um, so, and the
Yeah, they
guys were just like,
always.
I lost respect for him. And he was like, you lost respect? He's a predator. Oh,
I should hope you lost respect.
yeah. So it's very
Ugh.
questionable
Yeah.
behavior, um, to say the least.
I have a
Fucking
feeling,
kind of
Megan
like,
and dear listeners, that the dogs are about to start barking. So just
oh,
be aware.
okay.
Yeah.
Um,
Could hear some fun schnauzy action in the background.
yeah.
Already
Um,
starting. But yeah, I think that this is one of those cults that I definitely would have joined.
yeah,
There's a few
yeah,
of those.
yeah.
I don't know
Uh,
if I would have gotten sucked into the Manson thing.
that one's a that one's a bit darker. I mean, they wanted to start a race war, so I mean, it depends on your
Yeah.
your
Well, he also just kept them
I
on acid the whole time.
yeah, that's true. So, I mean, these
There
people
they
just
go.
smoked a lot of weed. Oh yeah,
Right?
they're going for it.
They sure are. This is my daily lives, dear listeners. You know, with a schnauzer and a skipperkey. Yep. I think their mother is home.
Oh, oh, I see, I
Yep.
see.
Yep. Hey, dogs! Dogs! Settle down. Settle down. Well, that's fun.
Should,
Um,
should we pause it?
yeah, let's hit pause for a second. Okay. That was good. That was good. Good pause.
That
Also
was a
really
good
good of
pause.
you to just burp really loudly before you hit record again.
Thank you,
Um,
thank you.
yeah.
I try.
Sorry guys, you missed it. Yeah, just part of the everybody likes seeing behind the scenes, the behind the glitz and the glam of our rock and roll podcast lifestyle. It's so fancy. But yeah, we're just regular people, you know. We have dogs, we have cats, roommates, bills. So many bills.
There's the dark turn that we needed. Um, but yeah, I mean, the whole idea of the cults was really interesting. Like I said, that Nexium, I think that's what it's called, the Nexium cult.
Hmm.
That's the one with Allison Mack. That is kind
Yeah.
of the one that got me interested in
Keith
it.
Raniere.
Yeah, Keith Raniere. Just because these people really fall prey to it. I think it's something that um is a lot of people are susceptible to. And I think what's
Yeah.
more concerning is, coming out of a pandemic, we are kind of at a crossroads. There's a lot of people at a crossroads where it's like, well, I spent the last year inside. What do I do now? So
Hmm.
I don't know.
Don't join a cult, kids.
Yeah, please don't join a cult. I'd just be curious to see kind of what comes of the next year or the next few years, if anything kind of new emerges, or people double down on the Trump stuff. Um, you
Well, yeah, I
know,
was going to say QAnon got some really big, like, got a lot of traction, got a lot more people behind it as soon as the pandemic, as they called it, started
mhm.
up, which is just not what it is. It's not.
Another
It's also
cult
not over yet, kids.
another cult that I saw start up, and I guess it started as like a joke, just like QAnon did. But it's like the birds aren't real
Oh
cult,
yeah, oh yeah, birds
and
aren't real.
or
That's one of
like
my
they're
favorite things on the
robots or
internet.
something. Like, yeah, where
Yeah,
like they had a protest and shit. Um, and
for the
I,
government to tell us the truth about birds. We know that birds are drones that are spying on us because birds aren't real. Um, are
yeah,
people taking it too seriously? Or do people believe that? Because I thought it was
I
a
hope
fun,
not. I
like an
hope,
onion kind of a thing.
but I would guess that some people are probably believe it. I mean, I think of how many times I've seen like something like the Onion videos or something get shared, and people go, "Oh my gosh, I can't believe they interviewed someone like this." Like, there's one that's like literally about a pedophile being interviewed like on a daytime talk show. I feel like it's a really popular one. Like, if you know it, great. But where he's talking about basically how to protect your kids from pedophiles from a pedophile, right? And how to make them not appealing. And some people really do think that that's a real clip, and it's an actor who's doing it. And I feel like he's become a little bit more well known, but kind of crazy to think that people get sucked into this shit. They think it's real.
Mm-hmm.
Um, um,
Yeah, like when way back in the day when I guess it's not really that far back in the day, but when Colorado legalized weed, I shared an Onion article that said like 47 overdosed in on cannabis,
mm-hmm.
which is hilarious because you can't OD on cannabis. And then like dipshit McGee's were like, I knew that was gonna happen. They need to turn back to the Lord. I was like, that's okay. All right. Well,
Yeah, that wasn't what I meant. Yeah, exactly. So it's
okay.
tough. One of the so um in that explained episode about cults,
Mm-hmm.
there's a quote, and I forgot the guy who said it. But he said the sense of identity, right, is under attack by the outside world for these people. And so the only way to salvage it is to come together under like a charismatic leader. So that's how people get
Mm-hmm.
sucked in, is they just feel lost. They feel like their sense of identity is, misunderstood. And so then they latch on to something. Um, it's kind of crazy. It makes sense, especially I think for like a lot of the people who got behind Trump or who get
Mm-hmm.
behind any political figure and view them as more than just a person doing a job.
Yeah.
And
That
that's
cult of personality.
a cult of personality.
Personality.
Um, I don't know who sings that one though. Who sings that?
God, why the fuck would you ask me?
God damn it. Well, you
I
knew
don't
the
know.
Cher one.
Oh yeah, obviously I knew the share one.
Uh, um, but yeah, no, it's easy to see how these people get sucked in. Um, Very interesting topic. I feel like I want to like download some audiobooks and listen to more stuff about
Yeah.
it because it's so fucking interesting.
Mm-hmm.
But it makes me wonder how many cult things I get sucked into. So question
Yeah.
question everything.
When I was in when I was in boot camp, I was definitely like, oh man, they are actively trying to brainwash me. They are fucking with my sleep schedule and my protein intake and all of this stuff. Like I am being brainwashed. That is what they're doing. I was like, all right, well, you got to get through it. So.
Yeah. It's crazy that I mean that's so true, right? Is they try to break you and then um I
And
don't
then
know.
rebuild you.
Yep. Give you a new logic and
Mm-hmm.
world sense, but yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a fun
Yeah.
one.
Yeah.
Should we wrap this one up?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, guys, thanks for listening. Next week we're gonna continue my summer series on aliens.
Yes, I'm very
Yeah,
excited
I'm
for
very
that.
excited. Yeah, me too.
You
I'm
said you've been doing a lot of
looking.
doing a lot of research or something
Mm-hmm.
for it.
Mm-hmm.
So
Been reading books and watching things, and researching in various ways. That
very
sounded
nice.
so intelligent. Oh my god.
I've been
What's
reading
up?
books
I've been
and
reading books. I watched a couple of documentaries about it. Although the shit that you have to watch on YouTube when you're researching aliens, it's mind melting.
yeah, there's stuff that it's just like people will talk in circles like sometimes we do just to like
Mm-hmm.
uh it's tough sometimes where it's like there's like lots of like it looks like kind of cut out pictures of like pyramids and then all these other things where it's like it almost looks like newspaper like cuttings or like
Yeah,
magazine clippings.
yeah, and it's not, but
um
not in like a fun way.
and then like charts that it's just like it's too far
So
away
many
to
charts.
actually
You
see
can't
what
read
the
the chart.
chart
And
says.
like so many robot voices narrating things. And just like if you have any good YouTube channels that you would like to recommend for me, because it's also like wading through a lot of like you'll think you'll have found something like interesting on aliens and like conspiracy theories, like, oh, okay, this is an interesting source. And then you dig like a little bit deeper, you're like, oh, they're super, super anti-Semitic.
Yeah.
Cool, cool,
Yeah.
cool, Cool.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead and just click clack on out of there. But yeah, follow us on our crazy journeys as we slowly descend into madness on Instagram at Tin Hat Time Podcast. Um, you can send us some emails
Please
at
do.
tinhattimepodcast@gmail.com. We would love to read your emails online. Um, yeah, do we have a TikTok yet, dude?
We have a TikTok. Nothing is posted on it.
Still nothing
So
on the TikTok. Still nothing on the TikTok, you guys. This is 17 episodes and there's still nothing on the TikTok. Just
one day.
just so you know.
Maybe by the time like we get to like episode 20, who knows? Maybe I'll have something up there.
I don't believe in you anymore.
This is trust no one, right?
Yeah.
So,
We've wandered in the territory of like, I don't she's turning so red, you guys.
please rate, review, and subscribe. Please, please, please. It helps us so much. And,
Yes.
you know, refer us to your friends and also tell us your stories. Like, we'd be very
Yeah.
interested in hearing any weirdo
Slide
stories that
into
you have.
my DMs.
So, yeah. But
Yeah.
thanks for listening, guys. And we'll see you next time.
Yeah.
So,
Bye
okay. Bye bye.
bye.